Can I ask y'all something? If you witness your father or any man rape your mother on a family vacation, what the fuck are you gonna turn out to be? I'll wait. And that's when all the fucking trouble started, y'all. So now I have been raped for the first time, and at 12 years old, I was raped by a 32-year-old man. Okay? So now the doctors come with all these diagnoses because I'm acting out. I mean, hello, obviously, but you might not get likes at first. You might not get views at first, but eventually, you're gonna change somebody's day.
My condition is called multiple limb deficiency, and I was born without hands, as you can see, and I use my feet as my hands. My right leg is like basically half a leg, where the foot is. I'll insert a picture. Where the foot is where the knee would be. It like lines up perfectly with my other leg, because my other leg's normal. I have a whole full leg there. I was born this way. As far as what caused it, I don't typically say like the whole thing because it's very controversial and it's not confirmed. Before I say it, I will say this: it's not hereditary. I'm the only person in my family that is born like this. My son is normal. He has all of his limbs. My mom told me that she did not know that she was pregnant when she was in the military with me. And people always automatically assume that because I have a disability that my home was accommodated. And it wasn't, because my mom's philosophy, for one, was everywhere you go is not going to be accommodated to your needs, which is true. You can argue with me until you're blue in the face, but it ain't gonna happen. Okay, I'll give you an example. Like I said before, growing up, I did not notice anything different. Now, when I got older and I started going out into the world, that's when like things start getting differently affected. I would say maybe in my teens, close to 18s, when I started noticing different things. But like I said, for example, about the whole places not being accommodated, I went to Baker College in Muskegon, and there's a dorm that is for people that need accommodations, I guess would be the best way to word it. It's a whole dorm that's inside the building. So logically speaking, you would think that like, oh, okay, this whole dorm is for people that have some kind of sort of disability or whatever. So it should be easily accessed. No, it was not. I'm not paraplegic. I can walk around and get around just fine without my wheelchair. I use my wheelchair when I'm like going to Walmart and I'm going somewhere that's gonna be like long distance. But like, for instance, to go check the mail, I'm not going to use my wheelchair. To get around my apartment or house, I'm not going to use the wheelchair. At that dorm, their mailboxes were so high up that you, like, if you were short, you're going to have some issues getting to it, even if you have all your limbs. But I would have, there was a table where the computers were at, and I would have to get onto the table and then stand up on my leg, because when I stand, I stand on my knee, because my foot is right where my knee would be for the other side. So that's usually how I get around. But when I have to get something tall, I stand up all the way on my leg. So I would have to stand up and all that to get to the mailbox. And then another thing was their washer and dryer room. They had a laundry room in the dorm in the main area. If you're paraplegic, you would not have been able to use it. It took me complaining and saying something and it took a while. I don't remember if it was the washer or the mailbox. I know for sure they changed the mailbox. I did say something about that. I cannot remember if they changed the washer and dryer. And it's a good thing that I did say something, because I think the year after, or maybe that same year, maybe the next semester, whatever, when I moved out, they actually did get somebody to end. When it did start affecting me, I noticed that it made it harder to date, which I have mixed feelings about. And I'll get into that in a little bit. People didn't really treat me too differently growing up, once they saw how self-sufficient I am. And so, like, that was never an issue. When I wanted to get a job, that became an issue, because, you know, you see somebody that's missing half their limbs come into your place, your company, and they're like, hey, I want a job. Well, I'm not able to show companies how I can do things. All I have is my resume to speak for me, basically. And I said, it's the only way that I'm able to really have any kind of proof of anything is when I start telling them about my different experiences and how that can help me help them as an employee better their company or whatever. That's really the only way. And that's really not that's not a foolproof way. So yeah, it did hinder me quite a bit trying to get a job at one point, because I remember this wasn't my first, it was after my first job. After my first job, I would get dressed up. So this is like, I would get dressed up really professionally, and I would go all around town. This is back when I lived in Hamtramck. And I had resumes. I had my resumes with me. And I would go to different buildings and all that and just talk to them and everything. And I point blank had someone tell me that I could not work there because of my disability. I have had that happen. The dating scene. So the dating scene, people aren't used to seeing somebody like me. So that makes it harder to date. And really, at first, I always thought that, oh, maybe they just don't want to because they think that I can't do anything. No, that's not it. Like, as I got older, I realized that it was just... As I got older, I've come to realize that it's really more so about just being with someone that looks very different. When you're different and you start your own family, there are going to be people that will challenge you and say that you cannot take care of your child or your kids, you know, depending on how many kids you have. And I had somebody make a false report. I know who did it. I know why they did it. But they did try using my condition against me, and it didn't work. But I know that it's not going to be the last time that somebody does that. That somebody calls CPS and says that I'm incapable of taking care of my kid. It's stressful. I used to stress about it all the time because I just don't want to go through that. I don't want to. The only way that I can describe it, and I used to do this, this is the only way that I can describe it that people understand, is people stare. And I'm so used to it by now. I completely forgot about this. It used to upset me a little bit, but now it doesn't. But people stare. And the way I describe it, how it affects me or makes me feel, or used to make me feel, is that it's like I'm a zoo animal. And people are staring at me like I'm just some animal trapped in a zoo. Like I'm just a freak, basically. Oh, and even though I'm used to it, it doesn't mean that other people are used to it. So really that doesn't affect me directly anymore because I'm over it. But people like my husband or my close friends, when I have them, I'm not very social, but when, you know, like when I used to be really social. So like when I would have friends and all that, like a bunch of them, you know, they would get all upset about people staring, and I would have to calm them down because they would get so upset. The challenges that I've faced, I'm still facing them, really. I personally believe that there's a job out there for everybody, regardless of what's going on, unless it's like very extreme. So the problem with that is when you have a job that isn't a 9-to-5, people don't recognize it as a job unless you start making a lot of money or you get really popular, or you spend $300 something on a business license. Like, apparently that's what it takes. Apparently, I don't know. Getting people to recognize that it's not a hobby. Me drawing is not a hobby. It's a full-time job for me. It may not be a 9-to-5. I can set my own hours. So, you know, like if I just want to work for an hour one day, I can just do that because I'm my own boss. But that was definitely a challenge in the beginning when I started out. People would always call it a hobby, and I find it very insulting, for one, because I'm spending a lot of money putting not just time, but my own personal money into all of this. And I work way too hard for it to be called a hobby. You know, one illustration can take hours or days. People always tell me, you know, because of my condition, that I should just stay on government assistance. I should just get everything that I can and just not try and get off it. I don't care what other people do. I'm gonna say that right now. I'm not judging anybody, but for me personally, I'm not staying on it. I don't want to. There's no reason to. I enjoy working more. I enjoy not having to rely on government assistance. I also don't believe in cheating the system. That's another thing people try to pressure me into doing, basically, when they say, well, you know, get everything you can and just work under the table and don't report anything. And it's like, no, again, not judging those who do. This is just my thoughts for me. I tend not to bring it up on my platforms because I don't want the controversy, I don't want the drama. But that is a challenge that I go through, because, you know, when you're already down in the dumps about everything, when you're down in the dumps about it, how things are going, hearing that just makes you feel like, well, what's the point in even trying? And it just makes you even more down. I get discouraged a lot. It's hard being a small business owner in general, but I feel like, I could be wrong, but I feel like it's even harder when you're just starting out, because it's very easy to look at other people and go, wow, why can't that be me? Or what are they doing different that I'm not? For instance, one of the things that I always struggle with, and I don't even know if I should say this because, again, I don't want drama, but one of the things that I struggle with big time is I'll go and draw something like, hold on, okay, so I'll go and draw something like this. Can't really see it too much because of the light, and I'll spend hours on it and it'll look really cute, you know, but it doesn't mean that it's gonna mean anything, basically. The best way that I can explain it is I'll watch certain YouTubers and they'll draw something that's not as detailed, something that's very simple, and they'll sell out of it and they'll sell like crazy, and it's like, I guess I just don't understand it. Like, why is it that something so simple sells way more than something that I put my heart and soul into, basically. And yeah, I don't know. It gets me down. It gets me discouraged, for sure. Doesn't mean that I'm not a good artist. Like a lot of people, they put likes and people subscribing. Sorry. They put all those things and they let that determine the value of their art. And I've fallen down that rabbit hole before. So it's just about keeping yourself in check. So yeah, I do get discouraged quite often, but I keep trying. Okay, so what made me start a YouTube channel was I already had one before. I don't even know what I did with it. Like, it's still active. I don't know, but what made me start my current YouTube channel is I just wanted to show the world how I draw. My whole company slogan is born wild hands, all artwork is done by feet, proven creativity is not limited by one's disability. And YouTube is such a big platform. I mean, I also have a TikTok and all that, but YouTube has been around for a long time. So what better place than YouTube than to put your videos, because eventually it'll get discovered, and who knows who I might encourage. And I just want to make people happy. I didn't have that growing up. People just bitch and complain about things they couldn't change, and when it may look similar to me. I just did it. I didn't need to build the confidence. What I needed to build the confidence in was, when I first started out, I used an art name because I wanted to be able to just draw whatever I wanted to draw without fear of judgment. So at one point, I revealed my art name to people, and that's what I had to build confidence in. Was, it's my channel, it's my business, I can do what I want, basically, and I should not let people who, here's a mess. I shouldn't let people who probably aren't even really gonna watch my videos or look at my content control what I want to do, because you're gonna have a lot of people that say they support you, but they don't. They're gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna watch your videos, or I watched that video, and then you'll ask a question and then they have no idea what you're talking about. It's gonna happen. Just do you. You might not get likes at first. You might not get views at first, but eventually you're gonna change somebody's day. I mean, you might even change how they look at things. I'll never forget the first comment that is stuck in my mind, because it really made my day. It made my whole year. When I started posting to different Facebook groups about my artwork, I would say, it's okay if it takes you some time, because back then I used to take forever to draw. I don't know why. I started taking my time more because I noticed that the quality was better. Someone told me that I inspired them to start back to drawing, and how they were really discouraged because of their disability that they had. It took them like a really long time to finish something, and how what I said really encouraged them. And to this day, they've been drawing. I actually follow them on Instagram, so it really warmed my heart. I actually cried when they commented that. The motherhood, oh my goodness. It's going good. He's gonna be turning 2 in October, and I already feel like I have a teenager. He will slam that door. He will slam it like he is 16. So by the time he gets to that age, when he starts slamming doors, he's gonna be a professional. I'm telling you. But I wouldn't change it for the world. I love him so much, and My son is my biggest motivation because I want to show him that, look, if I can do it, he can do it. And you just follow your dream. Because when I was in high school, when I was like a junior, they start telling you to start thinking about college, where you want to go. I wanted to go to Japan. My hair is a mess. I wanted to go to Japan, and I wanted to go to a manga school because in America, almost all the people that have gone to our school, they tell you, they discourage you from drawing anything that's a cartoon or an anime, whatever. They don't like it, apparently. So I just wanted to go to a school that would teach me what I needed to learn so that I could be a manga artist. And almost everyone that was an adult at the school discouraged it. And I even had my counselor, she was like, why would you want to go to Japan? Like, why wouldn't you just want to go to a school in America? And I would explain, even after I explained it, she just still kept that mentality, and I didn't have anyone help me, really, to figure everything out. So I just gave up on that dream, and now I'm living it, and it's amazing. So yeah, my son motivates me so much because there's been so many times where I just feel like giving up. I've shut down the store because I got tired of wasting money because I wasn't getting any sales, and I didn't want to reopen the store, and I just wanted to stop because I was not getting any results. If anything, the only thing that was happening was my shit was breaking. My laptop took a shit, my camera took a shit, and it was a lot. Last year was my first year in business, and it was rough. It was very rough, and it's still a little rough. My stuff's not breaking no more. But he is the reason that I am still going today, and I will never give up because I love him, and I'm gonna show him that if you keep trying, eventually you're gonna get somewhere. It might not happen right now, it might not happen next year, but you know what? Something's gotta give. Something is going to happen, or you're going to make a difference in somebody's life. But yeah, that's about it.
That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Ayy, coming down like precipitation. I ain't never met a limitation. Hate applying my elimination. Gotta go to Google for the information. I'm a superstar, so I gotta shine. Top dollar be the bottom line. Bottom feeding niggas out of line. Turn your heart into a dotted line. Yeah, my zodiac probably dollar sign. Got the energy to win it, my nigga. I'm feeling great. Gotta deal with this and focus on my fate. I don't give a fuck what you rap, you gonna fake.
Managing life with a mental illness. I was diagnosed with bipolar, anxiety, and depression in 2016, and man, it took a toll on me. I went through the whole denial phase, and that led to a phase of embarrassment. But ain't no shame to my game no more. Okay, I got a few screws loose, so it's time to act accordingly. Alright, so before I start giving y'all a little background, letting y'all all up close and personal in my life story, I need to tell y'all something. Don't judge my family, okay? I come from a very loving and dysfunctional family, if that makes sense. If that's even possible. Yeah, they love me, and I know that. So after going through my little bitch phase, my little hissy fit about those diagnoses, I realized that they're serious and not to be fucked with. Like, you really gotta manage that shit, or you gonna be. I just wanna let y'all in on my life. Give y'all a perspective of what it's like to manage these conditions or diagnosis in a fucking judgmental ass world. Like, mental illness is so... there's such a stigma on it. Like, the world keeps quiet too much about it. Don't nobody want to talk about the crazy. Why y'all don't want to talk about the crazy? Like, y'all gotta talk about it to heal from it, okay? To move forward with your life, you have to talk about it. Once you accept it and acknowledge it, you talk about it and you move the fuck forward. So, we moved when I was 12, and that's when all the fucking trouble started, y'all. So now I have been raped for the first time, and at 12 years old, I was raped by a 32-year-old man, okay? And then, like, literally, I witnessed so much trauma. And y'all know 12, that's still a baby, okay? So now the doctors come with all these diagnoses because I'm acting out. I mean, hello, obviously. But can I ask y'all something? If you witness your father or any man rape your mother on a family vacation, what the fuck are you gonna turn out to be? I'll wait. Exactly. So I done been through some shit, y'all. Like, I haven't even given y'all a fraction of my story. I just want y'all to know why I am the way I am. And just like I'm determined that I am gonna reach my destination, regardless of what's thrown at me, because the harder the devil go to knock me off my square, the harder I go to make it to my destination and do the right thing. And so as